Hey guys, can you hear me? The CDC just recommended we put these things on at all times. But that's hella annoying, so I'm gonna take that off so I can talk now. It's about 8:30 again in the morning. Apparently, Marcus Aurelius, one of the original philosophers and Stoics, did this every morning. He woke up and journaled. He had a hell of an intense day trying to manage armies and an empire, plagues, you name it. Anyways, among other things going on in the world right now, including methane bubbles that are popping like pimples and volcanoes in the Arctic and releasing immense amounts of carbon dioxide and methane, among other greenhouse gases. The unfettered capitalist market economy has once again screwed the common people this year. If you didn't already know, it's been a blockbuster year for tech IPO stocks. Maybe you saw a headline like Zoom and other technology companies have been riding on stock highs, which is really only available to the investor class or people who have disposable income, which is few and far between considering 78% of people live paycheck to paycheck. But regardless, we need to stop rewarding luck and talent so extravagantly, like insane. Like you've heard these stories. But another one, like Palantir Technologies, this 25-year-old who graduated from Stanford in his teenage years, he just became like, he went into the weekend with tens of billions of dollars because of their IPO. Again, he's really intelligent. Like, I get that. He graduated from Stanford. But he had like the right opportunities, the right time, and he was pushed into that direction, and he met the right people. Like, it's really a confluence of culture and luck that... And then we reward him with tens of billions of dollars. Meanwhile, like, you drive around town and all these storefronts are just decrepit and broken down, closed. Like, the contrast is way too extreme. Again, I'm not downing intelligence, and we need to give that credit and industriousness, but not to such an overwhelming degree. In that process of evaluation and making money, we could take that money and put it... We should be living like Singapore. Like, our cities should be like Blade Runner. They should be like hyper infrastructure, automated. Like, we shouldn't even be sitting in traffic. That's a complete waste of fuel, time, resources. Like, the amount of time people spend in traffic across the country. We could literally build like another Philippines, like another Australia, a whole nother economy. I don't know, maybe give it to education or preparing for a pandemic. I'm talking about infrastructure, but there's so many, like food, having decent food to these food deserts, taking care of the Native American peoples. I mean, there's so many... I don't mean to sound like a hippie nut here, but there's clearly some fuckery going on when, in case, like me, you've been into these hedge fund and investment firms who get first access to these IPOs before they release. So what they do is they invest tens of billions of dollars into these companies. Then when it goes public and all the worms like me buy it, their valuation goes even higher. And then when it tops out, they sell out and make gazillions of dollars, and none of it is regulated. They're hardly paying any taxes on this, and they're not doing any contributing work to society. That's what made me leave the financial industry-related atmosphere in Dallas. Like, a lot of firms there, a lot of investment and accounting. They don't do anything. They don't do anything. Like, you pass them in the street, they won't even look at they're looking at their phone. They'll cut you off. They're talking about their trip to Bali. I mean, they don't care. They don't care. And that brings me to my second point, is that is not only driving inequality, but then that has an effect on the generation that's coming up. I mean, we got a shit deal. I've talked about a lot on this channel, and some of my older commenters and viewers have talked about seeing it. Now imagine Gen Z. Like, they're coming into a world with a pandemic. They've had no time to accumulate wealth, education, earning potential. And just like the fall and the rise of the Third Reich, it breeds anger and resentment. And what I fear and think likely is going to happen in a number of years, it's festering now, is you're going to have, as if you didn't have such a divergent class with my generation, in several years, like how do you react when you meet another child who you were raised, and you go to these small towns and education is subpar, minimal, it's okay, and then you meet someone that's been insulated in a private school bubble in a major metropolitan city. It's two different Americas. As if we didn't have two different Americas before in this most very contentious election, it's going to be fucking extreme in 10 years. The amount of viewpoints, from their experiences of an unbridled, unfettered capitalist system that's rewarding the talented way too extremely and leaving out all the lower class. It's neo-feudalism to the max. Now, that being said, can't beat them, join them, and I need to make a living. Like, earning potential for hourly work, again, is at a historic low. It hasn't risen since the 80s. So I have to buy the stock next week when it releases. DoorDash, Airbnb, and I have to ride that wave so that I can make some cash and buy some new shoes. You know what I'm saying? It's so done fucked. And of course the general public is completely tuned out. They don't know about any of this happening. They just see some headlines. But you do a little bit of research and you find out how screwed it is. Anyways, on a personal note, also, I changed apartments. That other owner gave me some bad vibes. He sounded like he come from a kind of a spoiled rich family. He was bragging about himself and how he takes care of the apartment. And I just got some bad dreams. I didn't sleep well like 2 nights ago. But my main motel manager came through like an angel. Her husband has Parkinson's. She's like, it's like taking care of a baby. It's cute. It's sad. But they have that apartment next door that I filmed when I first came here. It's like a trailer size apartment. Like, it's super small. But it has a stove and a heater and a shower and a toilet. And for $600 cash a month, all bills. Furnished too. So I'm going to take that and ride out this pandemic for the next year or two until we get vaccinated or herd immunity, and then decide to go from there. But I'm thankful that it pulled through. I can actually sleep at ease now. And I can't wait to get to the outdoors and go hiking and camping. There's Christmas decorations all over town. It's feeling festive. And there's a lot of funky, wonky things happening in the world, but primarily I'm concerned about the resentment from not only my generation, but the younger generation coming up, getting so horrifically screwed through this process and driving inequality, which is exacerbating racial tensions and zoning laws and educational matters, that it feels like we live in some contorted dystopian version of this country. And I don't really want to be a part of all that. Maybe I might move to Bali eventually. Okay, I'm rambling. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon as I can.